Ladies and gentlemen, we are live for another edition of the NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005 video game. 15 races to go and crowning the champion for the NASCAR Busch National Series. Kevin Harvick just coming in off a win in the last race last night, or at least yesterday afternoon rather, at the Chicagoland Speedway. He has now expanded that points lead out over Kyle Busch. Bobby Hamilton Jr. had a rough finish, finishing multiple laps down in the race, lost a lot of points. He lost 60 points from the lead, but he's still within one race, about 130 out. Another doubleheader night of action here today. We got this NASCAR Busch Series race followed by NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode. So 3 days in a row of doubleheader action for you guys on the channel. So busting all the content out before the Michigan race this weekend. I should be here on Sunday, but just in case I'm not, we're making up for it right here, right now. Like, share, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. We're going to quickly hop into this so that way we can get the career mode episode in right after this. Kevin Harvick qualified on the pole for this race. Bobby Hamilton Jr. trying to bounce back. He qualified second. Green flag is in the air. We're underway at New Hampshire. We'll have to see how this race is going to turn out. We had a caution 3 laps into the Chicagoland race. Harvick barrels it into turns 1 and 2, and he's all clear off the exit of turn 2 on Bobby Hamilton Jr. Try to lead this opening lap. Cars One Boy, welcome to the stream. Off of turn 4. Let's see if the field will make it all the way through. Lap 1 complete. Kevin Harvick will lead lap 1. .200 laps, 200 miles scheduled for tonight's race around the Magic Mile at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Like there was almost an accident going into turn 3 that last lap. There's some tire smoke up here. I've had a couple guys get together. It's in the outer groove too. Maybe somebody got into the wall. So 2 cautions early I keep saying last night, yesterday afternoon was when that Chicagoland race took place. Wasn't originally going to do a NASCAR Busch Series race here today. We were only going to run the career mode race later on tonight, but I figured, hey, what the heck, let's get a Busch Series race in on top of the Heat 5 career mode. And the reason why, even though I had to work today, is because that career mode race tonight is one of the 4 50% races on the season, so it's only 200 laps with the Cup cars at Richmond. This race is probably going to be a little bit longer than our Cup race later today, so try to give you guys a full night's worth of action. Now, if you remember back in our Truck Series race at New Hampshire, it was a fuel mileage race. And we actually saw that our driver at the time, Carl Edwards, had ran out of gas with about 2 laps to go. So you just wonder what the fuel tank is going to be like for these Busch Series cars at New Hampshire. And will we see another fuel mileage race? Because if we do, we'll have to see if Kevin Harvick can maybe calculate it correctly. This is big. Again, 15 races to go on the season. Last thing you want to do is run out of fuel and finish towards the back. Earl Arnold Jr., welcome to the stream as well. Harvick has already pulled out to about a 7/10 of a second lead. Dark Crypto, welcome to the stream as well. Harvick won in a, not necessarily a fuel mileage race, but a pit strategy race at Chicagoland, where he was the only driver that made it on 2 stops, everybody else on 3. We had a caution in the middle of green flag pit stops. He decided to stay out under each of the first 2 cautions in that first tire stint, first fuel run of the race, trying to stretch it out as long as he could. He ended up finishing the race 4 to 6 laps to the good. on fuel before he would have had to pit a third time, where everybody else was making their final pit stops in the last 10 to 15 laps because of pitting either just before the caution, after they were trying to short pit and they got trapped a lap down, or literally right as they were coming to pit road, we had a caution for some cases. That strategy also led Harvick to leading the most laps as well by just 6 laps over Matt Kenseth, so that was big in getting not only the win, but the max points day to go along with it. He had a fast car that could have competed for the win before that, but he definitely was battling Kyle Busch strong. We saw Matt Kenseth lead 70 laps in the race. He ended up turning it on a little bit later on in the day. And as we're about 10 laps in, it looks like Bobby Hamilton Jr. slowly starting to run down Kevin Harvick again. He's within about a half a second of the race lead and has been a little bit quicker the last couple laps. Well, if it's a stock car racing series and it's televised, where I'm going for like marketability, no specific order, but the 10 tracks I'd probably take are going to be the more prestigious ones, the more well-known racetracks. So you're going to have Daytona on there, you're going to have Talladega, you're going to have Indianapolis, Bristol, Martinsville, Darlington, Charlotte. What is that, 7 races? What would the other 3 be? Let's throw the California short track on there, being it's in a bigger populated area. Get a road course on there. Watkins Glen. And let's throw a dirt race at let's go Eldora. Indy Oval, yeah. Why not? There's some prestige at that racetrack. There's a lot of nostalgia. I'm not saying it's going to be the best racing, but if it was televised, that's the only way I'm going to a lot of those tracks is if it's televised. That'll bring in more ratings. Oh yeah, Indy Oval. Not the road course. Bobby Hamilton Jr. started to close back in on Harvick. Harvick has stretched the lead back out to about 0.8 of a second once again. Bobby Hamilton's still in second. It looks like Kyle Busch is up to third and is challenging Bobby Hamilton Jr. for second place right now. He can't quite get around him. Alternate through the different camera angles for the first time early in this race. I'd have to assume if Harvick made it on 2 pit stops at Chicagoland, with this being a half-mile shorter racetrack, I don't see why you can't make it on 2 stops in this race. Though, with that being said, I would have to think that most of these guys would be able to make it on 2 stops, not just Harvick, so it's going to be a little bit harder to try and go off strategy and actually get it to work here today. Kyle Larson fan, welcome to the stream. Kyle Busch is underneath Bobby Hamilton Jr. side by side for second place. Harvick all the way down on the apron in turns 3 and 4. Never got out of shape, though. Stuck the corner still. Since Kyle Busch has gotten to second place, though, he's starting to put a little bit of a charge on Kevin Harvick. More so than what Bobby Hamilton Jr. was able to do when he was in second. That's a pretty wide range of variety for those 10 tracks, by the way. They're very interesting. And assuming these guys can make it 68 laps into a run, it's definitely going to be a 2 pit stop race today. And again, I'd be shocked if they can't make it on 2 stops. Cautions obviously could play a factor. Of course, they did in yesterday's race at Chicagoland. So definitely can't take that for granted here today as well. Excuse me. Had the hiccups like mid-sentence there. It's cutting in and out. Trust me, it wasn't the mic. That was me. It's still got about a half a second on Kyle Busch. He hasn't really gotten closer than about 4 car lengths behind Kevin Harvick. Harvick got the clean air for right now as well. I know we're on a short track, but it still matters at any racetrack, really. Still decent ways away from the back of the lap traffic right now compared to where these leaders are running. Kyle Busch is still slowly gaining on Kevin Harvick. Busch missed out on any sort of bonus points in the last race. Sorry, 2 races ago at Daytona. He did lead a few laps in the last race. I think he led a little over 20 laps in that race, but he still lost some ground, obviously, to Kevin Harvick. Still had a top 10 run at Chicagoland, but with Harvick winning the race and leading the most laps, he lost his points lead. Trying to keep the pressure on the 21 team. His 21 car was pretty fast entering into practice before qualifying. Then he tightened it up a little bit for qualifying. Has the same setup he had for qualifying in the race that he did qualify on the pole with. Kyle Busch qualified on the pole at Chicagoland. Already qualified fourth there. Not sure where Busch qualified today. I think he qualified outside the top 5. That's why it took him a good 20-25 laps to get up to second place. But he's at least close to Harvick, trying to put a little bit of pressure on him. Harvick's led the first 30 laps so far tonight. Looks like Bobby Hamilton Jr. is still in third place, by the way, as well. Unless these guys can make it on one stop, if they can get 100 laps into a run, I doubt the Busch Series fuel tank's that wide. Again, the strategy's a lot different in these races, even though they're pretty much about the same length as the races nowadays at these same racetracks. Just because there's no stages, no like mandatory cautions. Really have to have your strategy set from the start. Busch got off turn 2 pretty well. Harvick going to try to protect the bottom, but he entered in a little too deep. Slides up the track just a little bit. Kyle Busch centered the corner a lot better than Harvick. Looks low down the front straightaway. Harvick going to block Busch. Oh, Busch put it into the inside wall trying to get into turn 1. But Harvick goes wide. And how did Kyle Busch still get underneath the 21 after getting into the wall? That's insane. And if he completes this pass for the lead after getting into the wall and corner entry into 1, looks like Harvick's going to lead this lap at the line by inches, so Busch never officially led yet. Oh, and he gets into Harvick into turn 1, and he moves him up out of the groove. Busch going to take the lead now. Harvick going to try to cross him back over. Harvick going to run the 5 car up the racetrack now. A little payback. It's like, hey, if you're going to run me out of the groove, I'm going to run you out of the groove. And Busch still hasn't led a lap. They've still been racing pretty clean with one another, but aggressively recently. But Busch did not give Harvick any leeway that last lap, and vice versa. Busch sends it into the corner again in turn 3. He's trying desperately to get this lap led. Harvick holds on strong on the outside again, gets the run off the exit of turn number 4. Still has the lead. Oh, and he chops off the 5 of Busch and kind of moves himself up out of the groove that time in 1 and 2. Beating and banging. Some short track racing. I think Busch has him this time. Harvick gets a run off turn 4. Oh, and he bounced off the wall. 5 bonus points for Kyle Busch as he leads his first lap of the night. Harvick quickly gets back around Busch through turns 3 and 4. Clean pass that time, all clear. Kyle was able to lead 2 laps, it looked like, and it's like third place starting to slowly close in. Not sure who it is. I don't think it's Bobby Hamilton Jr. anymore in third. So Harvick can start to gap Kyle Busch again. Already at lap 40. Still caution free. Harvick slides up the track and turns 1 and 2 again. Here comes Busch down low. Harvick trying to squeeze Kyle. A little bit. Kyle drives it in extremely deep again into turns 3 and 4, and he slides up in front of the 21. Kyle going to go a little wide on corner entry into 1 and 2. Top of Harvick going way down low. He sticks the corner. And they're side by side down the back. Back and forth battle between the 21 and the 5. We've seen this a lot this season. I'm sure you're going to be seeing it even more after this one. Still 14 races to go after this one to crowning a champion. Busch a lot wider than Harvick through 3 and 4 that time. He lost about another 10th of a second or two. Back to about 3 to 4 car lengths off the race lead. Harvick's definitely starting to hook the bottom a lot more consistently, and he's slowly gapping Kyle Busch. Up to about a half a second lead again. Maybe Kyle used his stuff up a little bit too much in the middle of the run. I don't think these guys have hit halfway on fuel yet. Maybe this can be a potential one-stop race today. And that could be where the fuel mileage could come in. Seen a lot of fuel mileage races in the past here at New Hampshire. More specifically in the Cup Series. But again, we did see one in the Truck Series race here on the channel. 45 laps complete. To get to lap 50, it is possible to make this a one-stop race. Back Dark Crypto. One like right now. You guys got to hit that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you are new for more daily NASCAR content as well. Our main event of the night will be the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode at Richmond. 200 lap event there, 50% race, one of only 4 on the final Career Mode season. Typically we have full race live streams with realistic commentary. Busch entered in deep. He was very hard on the brakes, but a little bit wider than what he probably wanted to. Still stuck the corner. Didn't really lose ground that time from Harvick. Oh, she got a little tight in turns 1 and 2. He was all over the back of Harvick getting into the corner, but then he shoved up right in the center. Crazy how Harvick kind of slightly pulls away from Kyle Busch and Busch reels him back in. They got a battle, then Harvick will pull away again. Busch will battle him back. Currently at lap 50. Oh man, yeah, this is going to be a fuel mileage race. Halfway on fuel at lap 50 in a 200 lap race in which nobody has made green flag pit stops yet. We have been green since the very get-go. As of right now, I believe Kevin Harvick is about a half a lap short on fuel to making it to halfway to try and split this race on one stop. And just like the New Hampshire race in the Truck Series, it is going to come down to fuel mileage, and hopefully, for Harvick's sake, he can calculate it correctly, because our driver Carl Edwards did not do so in the Truck Series and finished 24th a lap down because of it. Harvick's going to need all the points he can get, especially with Kyle Busch in second place today. He just took the points lead back at Chicagoland after being behind Kyle Busch for about 4 or 5 races in the point standings. Last thing he wants to do is lose that points lead by quite a bit again if he has a bad finish. I'm surprised these guys haven't even gotten into lap traffic yet today, now that we're 53 laps in as well. You do not want to go anywhere. This could potentially be a one-stop race for some of these guys. We'll have to see when some of the earliest drivers come into the pits. And plus, we'll have to see if we stay green at all, too, because if we get a caution at any point in this race, we might see some guys stay out, so that way they can, gain some track position. But then if we get another caution in the process of them pitting well before everybody else, you're going to get trapped a lap down, maybe 2 laps down with this being just a 1-mile racetrack. Busch got really close. He's looking low down the back straightaway. Harvick going to look lower. Into turn 3. Oh, Busch way up the racetrack. He completely overdrove turn 3. Harvick gapped him by about 0.4 of a second in that corner alone. I think he was going to try to send it in on the 21, but the line was mimicked perfectly from Harvick. And Busch was forced to not being able to drive it in that deep unless he wanted to get into the back of the 21. Not really in the race to put that aggressive of a move. He already tried the bump and run once, and Harvick moved him right back out of the way the next corner. In a very, very much potential fuel mileage race here, I don't want to say it's too early to save fuel, but when the guy you're battling for the championship is right behind you and you don't want him to get a whole lot of laps led in this one so you can get the most laps led and try to outscore him by every sort of point you can, you kind of have to push, especially when that driver is not only in second place while you're leading, but he's within a car length or two. And who knows, maybe Kyle Busch is short on fuel too, and maybe this could be an opportunity for Bobby Hamilton Jr., who's in the top 5 earlier on in the race, to gain some of that ground back, knowing he is 130 back, still within 1 race worth of points. It'll be very interesting to see if Busch pits before Harvick. Obviously, that'll give him less fuel to make it to the end rather than Harvick. And not just Busch. I mean, the 3rd and 4th place cars are slowly closing in as well. What do they have? You never know how the green flag pit stops are going to cycle through as well. Who might be able to get to the lead or not? Cap24, welcome to the stream. I mean, all the racetracks that have Cup Series race dates, like all the T-shirt haulers travel from one track to the next on a weekly basis. They travel with the teams and everything, and obviously each track's got their own merchandise stands and everything scattered around the racetrack. Some of them are underneath the grandstands, some of them are out in the near the parking lot closer. Some are, right with the other T-shirt haulers. Some are outside the gate where you don't even have to have a race ticket to go to the merchandise haulers and stuff like that. Some of them you do. I know Michigan is one of the tracks where you have to get your ticket scanned to go into there. But I've noticed most of the SMI tracks that I've been to, Atlanta, Charlotte, they're like outside like they're on the property, like more towards the parking lot. They're not so much like, I mean, they're right outside the track too, but they're not inside the gate where you have to get your ticket scanned. Like you might not even have a ticket where you can tailgate, you can listen to the race uh, right outside the track for free because it's free parking and you got all the merchandise you want. Each track's different. And I haven't been to every track yet either, so some tracks I know for a fact have it, and some I just don't know because I haven't been there yet either. Busch up the track again, a little tight in turns 1 and 2. Looks like that might be Ron Hornaday, who is in 3rd place. It's like the AC Delco Chevrolet. Bobby Hamilton Jr. is in 4th right behind him. Hornaday comes in 4th in points as well. I believe he's 205 points out, if I remember correctly, which is just over one race worth of points out. You can score up to 190 in a race. But hey, a fuel mileage win for Ron Hornaday can get him back into the championship hunt as well. Busch closes the door on Harvick off turn 2. Harvick with a block down the back straightaway. Looked like Busch might have gotten a little bit loose, picking the throttle back up off the exit of turn 2. Harvick gets a little loose on entry into 3. Busch a little wide though, and everybody, those top 2 drivers are all over the place. Hornaday and Hamilton close the ground a little bit more again. I don't know how the t-shirts are designed. Probably how most of them are. It seems like most of them are on like just kind of like a normal shirt, and they just kind of. I have no clue. I have no experience making t-shirts. Some of them do look like they take like a normal like shirt and then they just like print it on there, sell it for $30. But some of them do look a lot better design that are like the same price. It's kind of weird. It's hard to explain, but some of you guys might know what I'm talking about. Hornaday almost got underneath Kyle Busch that time. Now Hornaday goes a little wide in 1 and 2. Hamilton all over his left rear. Kyle Busch looks low again down the back straightaway. Harvick trying to block. Busch. Oh, and he just completely wipes out the 21 of Harvick. And J.J. Yeley's going to get to the lead. Kyle Busch put himself in the wall. We stay green as Busch just completely wiped himself and Harvick out. And Yeley, who was in 4th place going into the corner, gets to the lead. Hornaday had to check up. Great save by the 21. Busch was all the way down on the apron of the racetrack trying to make it into turn 3, and he just completely cleaned out that racing Chevrolet. Harvick quickly gets back around his teammate Hornaday for second place, but he's a little over second off the lead from J.J. Yaley, who was in the right place at the right time right there. My goodness. I don't know what that was all about. Harvick did block him going into the corner, but Busch just flatlined the corner on entry there. Pretty sure he got into the wall, too. Harvick didn't. He kept it off the wall. Yeah, there are DNFs in this game. Oh, yeah. It's a little bit harder to DNF than what it is in Thunder 04, but yeah, you can definitely still DNF. So J.J. Yaley leads the race. Harvick way too wide getting into turns 3 and 4 that time. Oh, bump and run. Harvick has not cleared Yaley. Yaley trying to side draft that right rear corner panel. Sparks flying with the lap cars up ahead in turns 3 and 4 as well. And Harvick back to the lead. Harvick just missed his corner. Tires are definitely getting older. Oh, man, Yaley. He just kept going wider and wider there. Trying to crisscross the 21 of Harvick. Not going to work that time. He had a chance if he didn't make contact with the 21. All cars that are still on the racetrack that have not blown an engine are on the lead lap. Jared Holmes in the 108 car would be the first to go a lap down. And it's looking like it's going to happen right there through turns 1 and 2. Harvick clears Holmes. He's just kind of let Harvick go, it looked like, and letting the race leader take it out as he tries to open that gap up on J.J. Yaley. And Kyle Busch has a fast car. He just got way too aggressive a little early in this race, trying to take that lead away from Kevin Harvick. It'll be DNFs in NASCAR 21 ignition. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know if I've seen anything that it's definite that they will have any. They do better be more accurate than NASCAR Heat 5. Like, it's one thing to get in a harder, violent crash in DNF, which obviously you still wouldn't NASCAR Heat 5, but like there's times you can hit the wall at 20 miles an hour, but if you hit it like head on perfectly, it still DNFs you. Harvick definitely pulling away from Yaley. He's got about a 1.2 second lead now. It's Harvick's largest lead of the race so far. Lap 81 coming to lap 82. Just tuning in for the first time, this is likely going to be a fuel mileage race. They're trying to at least make it to lap 100. So he can try and make this a one-stopper. Contact with a few lap cars running side by side, not too much further ahead of the 21. They were far enough ahead of him that Harvick never had to check up any extra. Yaley may be saving fuel why he's dropping back so far as well. Either that or maybe he's struggling with the lap traffic. He's 2 seconds off the race lead now. Tell you what though, if he's saving fuel, that might be a wise move here. Save fuel now so you can push later when Harvick might be trying to save fuel at the end of the race. Again, that's if this goes green all the way through. So far, we're caution free. Really had an accident about a dozen laps ago, but outside of that, it's been a pretty clean race. Like Yaley was a little bit faster that last lap, unless maybe Kyle Busch got back to second place. And maybe he was battling Yaley, and that's why he was losing a little bit of time. The lead is back down to 2 seconds. It was about 2.2. Yeah, second place definitely starting to close in on Kevin Harvick, it looks like. 1/8 of a tank left on fuel. I don't know if Harvick can make it to lap 100. He's going to be really hoping he is. He might have to save a little bit of fuel, not only on the second run, but maybe even this run too, towards the end of it. Just trying to get to halfway. Haven't seen anybody come into the pits yet. They are all going to try to stretch it as close to a one-stopper as they can. For anybody that pits past halfway, they're going to have a much easier time trying to make it to the end. I'd have to imagine we are going to see guys make it on one stop, but I don't think everybody's going to. Murray almost got in the wall. He ran really wide off turn 4. Murray pulling away again. He's out to 2.4 seconds ahead of the leaders. It did cut down to 1.6 there briefly. Oh, Murray got the wall that time off turn 2. A little scrape. Wow. Got some drivers pitting really early, lap 91. And I think JJ Yaley in second place just came into the pits. Very early for drivers to be pitting right now. They're definitely not going to make it to the end. They're going to have to go about 109, 110 laps on fuel. Might have an oddball winner here today. Oh, Nick Richardson checked up big time off of turn 4. A couple cars in front of him pulling onto pit road. Even Harvick had to hit the brakes, and he was quite a ways behind Richardson. He closed up on him in a hurry. Harvick's got to go 6 more laps to get to lap 100. He's got about a 3.6 second lead right now. He's far enough ahead of second place, too. I mean, we don't even know who's in second place. Harvick hasn't really attempted to save any fuel up to this point. Lap 96. Crosses the start-finish line. He gets out of the gas. And he is trying to coast it as much as he possibly can. So Harvick is in fuel-saving mode. Trying to make it to halfway so he could possibly make this a one-pit-stop race. And he is really, really backing this race car up quite a bit. Trying to run that lowest lane possible all the way around this racetrack as well. Lap 97. Lead is down to about 1.1 seconds already. Oh man, almost hit the inside wall. Talk about trying to take it as low as he possibly can. Here comes Kyle Busch. Oh, Harvick a little loose up the track. Overdrove the corner a little bit. Kyle Busch is going to take the lead off turn 4. Harvick is trying to save and trying to make it to lap 100. He's at lap 98. He needs 2 more laps to go. Yeah, he's going to try to get out of these guys' way. J.J. Yeley gets back up to second. Kyle Busch doesn't seem like he is saving nearly as much as Harvick. Yeley's out on the track, so we know Busch is trying to make it quite a ways here. When will he come into the pits? Harvick's still saving gas. Lap 99. He's out of the throttle again. Car's on the apron of the track. Oh, man, Hornaday in the wrong place at the wrong time there. Harvick more than 2 seconds off the race lead. It does seem like Busch hasn't been pulling away as much these last couple laps. I think he's starting to save fuel because J.J. Yeley has been closing in on Kyle Busch for the lead. Harvick going to get to lap 100 now. Well, that's where he needed to get to. He has really, really, really backed this car up. Down the back straightaway. He's going to try to make it 1 more lap. Harvick going to try to stretch it 1 lap longer. J.J. Yeley, Kyle Busch, they are coming onto pit road. Harvick will regain the race lead. Or sorry, he will regain the race lead. Hornaday's already pit. He's given up a lot of time, but he is going to take it 1 lap further than both Kyle Busch and J.J. Yeley. That is huge. Kevin Harvick will come into the pits this time. Made it 101 laps. That means he'll have to go 99 laps on the next run. 70 miles per hour is the pit road speed limit. He'll get down easily. It'll be a 4-tire stop. No adjustments for the 21 crew. And we'll see what he can do. Harvick was saving for about those last 7 laps of the run. And he backed that pace up quite a bit because he had a 2.4 second lead. He ended up about 3 seconds off the lead by the time Kyle Busch and J.J. Yeley hit the pits. So he gave up total about 5.5 seconds of time. And yeah, he's definitely going to cycle out further back. Ron Hornaday will be the new leader, so he'll get 5 bonus points here. But Hornaday pit well before the 5, the 18, and the 21. Harvick went, I believe, the longest on fuel. He actually went 1 lap past halfway. So he saved quite a bit, but he gave up time trying to do so. Not going to really afford to be able to do that a little bit later. Remember, a lot of the field actually... Oh, wow, Casey Atwood, who was already a lap down, but he made it a lap further than Harvick even on fuel. 2 laps further, it looked like. Harvick's got to try to cut back into that deficit, even though he feels that Hornaday won't be able to make it on gas anyway. You have to believe that the 5 and the 18 are still in front of him. They're going to be the closest on making it, but having less than, say, Harvick, unless they save during the run. And you never know. I mean, Harvick pulled away those last, like, 10 laps before he started saving. All of a sudden, he had a 2.4 second lead, so who's to say those guys weren't saving before, and then Harvick was saving at the very end of the run. A lot of these drivers try to make it a one stop. He's got the car, but does he have the fuel mileage? Will we stay green to the end of the race as well? So far, caution free as we're just past halfway. 95 laps to go out of 200 total entering the race. Back inside the top 5. And he's back to about 3.5 seconds off the lead. He's closing quick. See J.J. Yaley up there. Not sure exactly where Kyle Busch is at. Oh, 3 wide. Are they going to make it off the exit of turn 2? Almost some contact between the 113 of Trey Murray, 103 rather, of Trey Murray, and then the 18 of J.J. Yaley. Harvick goes 3 wide underneath Yaley, clears him for position. Kyle Busch way up there. Harvick underneath Tim Fedewa now. Fedewa for position, so he actually passed Yaley a lap before Harvick did. Harday's got about a 2-second race lead over Kyle Busch. Busch going really wide in turns 3 and 4. Trying to close the door in the center of the corner on Harvick. It was too little, too late. Harvick is clear off turn 4 for second. Power move by the 21. Harvick slowly pulling away from Kyle Busch for right now. About 0.6 of a second off the race lead of his teammate Ron Hornaday. Might have been struggling behind that lap car. He just finally passed that last lap as well. Lap car would be Al Wiggins. 128 it looks like. Drives it in deep into the corner. He'll make the pass on Wiggins. Continues to try and close in on Ron Hornaday. Hornaday, a little low exit, not as low as Harvick though. Trying to side draft Harvick down the back straightaway. Hornaday sends it into turn 3 on the outside, and he holds on to the lead. Surprised he got that corner to stick. That was a great job on his behalf. I'm sure Harvick wants to get around him as soon as possible. Horday's really driving it in deep in the corner. It's definitely going to help Harvick on corner exit. Again, he gets underneath Hornaday. Hornaday going to try to side draft the 21 again. Harvick going to pull up and try to block. Hornaday again drives it in deep on the high side. Is he going to clear off turn 4 again? Not quite. Still side by side. And yeah, he is clear. Harvick's got to drop in line behind him again. That Hornaday is spectacular through turns 3 and 4. And he's still holding on to the lead. The more he battles at 21, Busch could be closing in. Hornaday again deep on the outside. Harvick deep on the bottom, and this time Harvick clears Hornaday off the exit of turn 4. Slides up in front of him. Harvick takes the lead. Another lead change in this race. Hornaday trying to drive it deep into turn 1 again, but Harvick shuts the door. He's pitting earlier than everybody else for Hornaday. Means he was able to get some laps led in there. Maybe he's banking on there being a caution in the second half of this race, so that way he can maybe have a shot to win from there and see everybody hit pit road a second time no matter what. Maybe some guys try to stay out and take the track position. I think it's going to matter on how many laps to go there are if we do get a caution. We have less than 20 to go. Might see some drivers try to do that. Especially final 10 laps where we won't have any lap cars to the inside of the lead lap cars. That could be where we see the potential as well. And how much fuel is Kyle Busch saving right now as well that he is not really closed in on the 21 and the 2 with how hard they were battling for the lead there for a few laps. Because he was only about a second and a half behind the race leaders. Is he saving enough that he can make sure he makes it to the finish and maybe Harvick burns the fuel with Hornaday running there? Harvick does not want to save any gas until Hornaday pits at least. By the way, that last lap, Harvick has clinched the most laps led already. Dominated for the most part here today as far as the laps led go. So if he wins this race, it'll be back-to-back max points days on top of the back-to-back wins. Two very different tracks. 1.5 miles at Chicagoland and a 1 mile flat short track here at New Hampshire. Do a house tour. No, I'm not going to do a house tour. You guys don't want to see a house tour. That's not going to be... I mean, you guys might be interested in what my house looks like, but at the same time, it's not going to be a... it just looks like a standard house. Now, someday if I get, like, a lot of, like, NASCAR memorabilia and stuff like I want to do, and start, like, decorating and stuff like that, now that would be worth it for the channel, but, yeah, right now, no, you guys don't want to see the house. I don't have my own place, so I can't really do that right now anyway. Harvick gaps Hornaday off turn 2. Seems like Hornaday's a little better in 3 and 4 anyway. Not really going to know until Harvick hits halfway on fuel exactly how he is pacing himself on this second fuel run of the race. Kyle Busch is slowly closing in on the top two. Actually, not slowly. He is quickly closing in on the top two. Just have to see how quickly he can maybe get around Hornaday. Hornaday was definitely a tough pass for Harvick. Oh, Hornaday going to go a little wide off of turn 4. Lost a little ground there. That was his better corner on the racetrack compared to Harvick as well. Harvick has hit his marks, though, as he has done pretty much all day. Kyle Busch is all over the back bumper of Ron Hornaday off the exit of turn 2. Let's see if he'll get the run into 3 to try and pull out and make the pass. I think he was quite close enough. A little bit wider than what he wanted. Hornaday pushed up the track though off the exit of 4, but looked like Kyle Busch did as well. Really, all three of the top 3 went up the track a tad. Hornaday way up the track. Kyle Busch arced the corner off a little bit better into 1, and they're side by side for second place down the back straightaway. If Busch drives it deep into turn 3, this might be his greatest opportunity to try and make the pass. So it's Harvick who kind of goes up the track a little bit off of turns 3 and 4, and they all stay 1, 2, 3 in the same order at the start-finish line this time. Busch again going to pull low. Harvick goes a little wide. Hornaday might get to the lead off turn 2. He's underneath his teammate. Oh, a little contact with the RCR cars. That might open the door up for Kyle Busch. It does. But it's actually going to be Hornaday who will lead at the line. Busch trying to trap the 21 car up high as well. Harvick with the run down the front straightaway, and he pulls clear the 5 car rather of Kevin Harvick, and he gets right back underneath Hornaday off turn 2. Side by side for the lead into 3. Harvick looks like he is going to get Hornaday back. I don't know how Kyle Busch didn't end up in second place. He wasn't close enough behind the 21 to follow him past the 2 car either. See how these next 3 lap cars are going to race the leaders. Most of them here today have let the leaders go by. Traffic hasn't been that tough, really. Hammock in the 119 car up high. Oh, no. Harvick got into the side of him. Cost the 21 a little bit of time off the exit of turn 4. He was slowly pulling away from the 2 guys behind him. Trying to widen that lead out to about half a second again. Oh, we'll contact up ahead. Gene Martin and Sean Batson make a little bit of contact. to wait and see. Oh, man, more contact. Batson trying to cross him over with a bump and run of his own. These guys are going at it. Right as Harvick slowly starting to pull away, but see if they'll let the 21 car by pretty quickly. They'll both move up out of the way for now. Harvick couldn't clear them both. He still got the 107 to his outside into turn 3. Hornaday goes up the track a little bit. Kyle Busch trying to get underneath. They're 2x2 off of turn 4 back there. Patrick Shadley, welcome to the stream. Yep, we'll still have that NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode race tonight for those of you just tuning into this one. Decided to run a doubleheader, though, with our Cup race being a 50% race on the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode at the Richmond Raceway tonight. One of 4 races that will be ran 50% on the season, as we've done for every one of the full season races in the NASCAR Heat 5 video game. I think Kyle Busch did get around Ron Hornaday for second place. He used one of the lap cars as a pick. Definitely seems to be a little bit faster than Hornaday. 0.6 of a second off the lead from Harvick. And if you're also just tuning in, we are in the midst of a fuel mileage race here today at New Hampshire. Seeing if any of these drivers can make it on one pit stop. Harvick pitted at lap 101. Kyle Busch, J.J. Yeley at lap 100. Casey Atwood pitted at lap 102, but I think he's a lap down. It's a 200-lap race. We have been green ever since the start, and those were the only pit stops we've had today. A lot of these drivers trying to split it in half. Just have to wait and see if that'll work out for them. If we stay green, it's going to be very interesting to see who will make it on fuel, who will not. Greg Miller giving Kevin Harvick plenty of room here. Harvick still couldn't clear him off the exit of turn number 4. Harvick going to side draft Miller a little bit. Miller lets him go again into turn 1. Busch isn't pulling away really from Hornaday either after getting around him for a second. They're still nose to tail. Harvick would love to try and gap the 2 cars behind him as much as he can in case he does have to save fuel here at the end, just like he did in the first run. He saved for about 7 laps before pitting at lap 101. On both ends of the racetrack, he was getting way out of the gas. So I would not be surprised if he has to save maybe not quite 7 laps, knowing he has to go 1 lap less on fuel this time around, but he might have to save for about the last 3 or 4 laps of this race if he's going to want to make it. And obviously, if second place is right behind him, he's not going to be able to save that kind of fuel. He had about a 2.4 second lead at the time of those first pit stops and ended up 3 seconds off the race lead by the time he pit because of how much he was saving. But he went a lap longer than Kyle Busch, J.J. Yeley, the 2 guys he was racing. Ron Hornaday, of the top 3 right now, is probably the least likely to make it on fuel to the end. Not sure exactly what lap he pitted, but he cycled the lead because he did pit at least a few laps before both Busch and Harvick, so he is less likely to make it. He's trying to cross Kyle Busch back over for second place again. And currently 59 laps to go for Happy Harvick. A little more contact with the lap cars up ahead. We've seen a lot of that so far tonight. With the lap traffic, at least. Mostly with the lap traffic. Oh, man, 3 wide. Almost had a little bit more contact between the 121 and the 123. Lance Brantley clears them both on the bottom. We're going all the way down low. He got caught. They're side by side right in front of him now. Harvick trying to drive it in deep into turn 3. It looked like the 121 overdrove the corner, trying to clear 109 of Lance Brantley himself. Oh, Harvick put himself in the wall. Off the exit of turn 4, trying to clear all of them. How's the 121 to get back underneath Harvick with that mistake Harvick made overdriving the corner. Got out to about an 1/8 of a second lead, but now the lap cars are holding him up a little bit, and that lead's cut down to about a 1/2 a second into turn 3 this lap. 121 way up the racetrack. Kyle Busch starting to slip behind. Maybe he's saving some fuel. You have to believe Hornaday is not going to make it to the end unless he saves a ton of fuel during this run, so he is probably going for broke, just hoping for a caution at this point. And Kyle Busch, 3 wide off the exit of turn 2 back there. He tried to pinch the 2 car behind the lap car to use him as a pick, and as they battle, Harvick starting to get away again. A little contact between Kyle Busch and Ron Hornaday. A bump and run as Kyle Busch uses the chrome horn to get up to second place. Still got 55 laps to go. Busch is there. Hornaday with a crossover, and they're side by side again down the back straightaway. It's definitely allowing Kevin Harvick to pull away. He's got a 1 second lead, which is his largest lead since those pit stops about 45 to 50 laps ago. Alternate through the different camera angles for the second and final time here tonight for about the next 4 laps. Lead cut back down to about 0.8 of a second again as they continue to try and close on Harvick. If he is going to save any, he isn't going to do it till the end of the race. Kyle Busch saved any fuel. It was at the very beginning of this run. It wasn't running the pace he has recently, trying to keep up with the 21 and the 2. About 20 laps ago or so, he caught him. About 1.5 to 2 seconds off the lead there for a little bit. We're at lap 150 right as we speak. Oh man, Harvick got back in the gas way too soon. Had to break off of turn 4 just to keep it off the wall. Look at how much ground Hornaday and Kyle Busch were able to gain. Harvick blocks Hornaday down the back straightaway. Big time block down the back straightaway on the 2. Oh, Harvick overdrives the corner, but so did the 2. Not as much as the 21. Oh, and he almost got into his teammate. He did. Hornaday's in the wall now. Hornaday overdrove the center of the corner. After Harvick overdrove the entrance, they got together, and here comes Kyle Busch. Easy pack to second. Oh, Busch runs the 21 wide. Tries to nudge him out of the way. Kyle Busch, will he be clear off of 4? He is. He moves up. All clear. Kyle Busch to the lead at New Hampshire. Halfway on fuel, coming to lap 153 that time for Kevin Harvick. That leaves him about 2 full laps to the good on fuel to push hard, likely to the end. Not having to save any as he tries to cross Kyle Busch back over. Man, Busch really pinched Harvick down. He's still pinching him down. Harvick trying to side draft him back as they go into turn 1. No sign of Hornaday now. Harvick clear off turn 2 on Busch. Can't believe the teammates got together. Hornaday just kind of overdrove the corner. He had the room to get underneath Harvick, but I think he just pushed up the track a little too much in the center and up into the wall. Hornaday went. Harvick leads that lap at the line. Not going to matter. I mean, Harvick's already clinched the most laps led. Back and forth go the 5 and the 21. The final 50 laps once again. Another race this season. I think Kyle Busch is probably a little bit closer on fuel than Harvick. Harvick pitted a lap after Kyle. Ooh, a little contact. Harvick clears the 5. He's trying to block to the inside again. Harvick. Oh my goodness. Up the track he goes. Busch drove it in so deep too. He was down on the apron corner entry, but the combination of him driving it in deep and Harvick going wide made it an easy pass for Kyle Busch in turns 3 and 4. Busch left a lot of bottom open. Oh boy, Harvick pinched him off. Clean pass though. Barely cleared him off turn 4. Busch might have given him a little bit of leeway. Harvick is committed on not saving any fuel unless he sees the 5 car run out, and that would give him a big lead. Now that Hornaday is no longer in close contention. Plus, again, Hornaday likely wasn't going to make it anyway. I'd be shocked if he did. A lot of those drivers that pit right around lap 91, 92, they're definitely not going to make it. About a half hour away now from the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode race, our main event of the night. Setting up for a good fuel mileage run to the finish, though, here today at New Hampshire for the NASCAR Busch Series on NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005. Jerry Holmes in the lap car going to try to let Harvick and Kyle Busch go. Oh, Harvick got into him. Harvick got into the lap car off turn 4. It looks like Kyle Busch got caught behind him, too. No contact, though, between Busch and Holmes. Sounds like a close finish, by the way, cars. Oh boy. 0-0-4. Some lap cars going 3 wide off turn 4. Doesn't look like they made any contact, so going driving on. Still caution free. I didn't realize there were 4 cars in that group. No wonder they've been going 3 wide for a while. They all keep probably alternating position. Guy who's in that 3rd lane every time is probably the biggest loser in that 3 wide battle. And they try to duck back down to the bottom of the next corner, probably underneath the guys that are side by side off the exit of the corner prior. Kyle Busch definitely close enough to use the bumper later in this race if he does so choose. We got somebody blowing an engine up there trying to make it to pit road off turn 4. He will get out of the way. We stay caution free. 33 laps to go at the start-finish line at the Magic Mile at New Hampshire. Caution for the first time today. Trouble in turns 3 and 4. Hold the phone. Our first call. Oh, man, he got turned. The 64 car got turned from somebody from behind. Had a couple cars racing side by side. It looked like the 64 car was going at a much slower pace. He got hooked in the left rear. Into the wall he goes. Decisions. Harvick gonna pit from the lead. Caution Wade with 32 laps left, and Busch stays out. Hornaday pits. Oh boy. No adjustments on this 21 car. We've got some drivers pitting. We've got some drivers staying out. Remember, that's the caution Hornaday needed because he likely wasn't going to make it on fuel today. And our first caution of the day really throws a wrench in the strategy. And with this yellow, that's going to give a guy like Busch, who might have been a half a lap short, a better chance at being able to make it to the end now. Can he save a half a lap under the caution? And Hornaday wins the race off pit road on the 21 of Harvick. Lap cars will line up to the inside of the lead lap cars. We're going to have less than 20 laps to go when we go green. Kyle Busch is going to lead to the restart. Green flag back in the air at New Hampshire. It looked like only the top 2 on the lead lap stayed out of Kyle Busch and J.J. Yeley. We're going to have about 60 lap older tires. 3 wide, nearly 4 wide off the exit of turn number 2. Everybody fanning out. Are they going to make it into 3? Harvick still up high, 3 wide. A lot of cars underneath him. You have to be careful. Gonna have to be extremely careful. Oh, Harvick got squeezed. Into the wall he goes. He's gonna lose a lot of track position now. He wants to try and beat the 2 car to the front. Oh, somebody went way up the racetrack into turn 1. 3 wide again. Down the back straightaway. 18 to go. Harvick's going to send it into 3. They are 4 wide. Hornaday's 3 wide middle towards the front of the field. They fan out off of turn 4. All making it through the corner somehow. Harvick's all the way back to 5th. A lot of lap cars still in between. Can J.J. Yeley and Kyle Busch make it on fuel? Yeley took the lead on the restart away from Kyle Busch. Oh, contact! 121 goes wide into Dwayne Borland and somehow still muscles his way around Kyle Busch. Busch dropping back on the older tires. He's trying to block the 21 of Harvick into the corner. Harvick's into the inside wall into turn 1. Busch ran him off the racetrack just about. Little contact now between the 149 and the 25. Hornaday's going for the lead into turn 3 under Yeley. Harvick blocks up. Doug Thompson gets the drive on the driver on the older tires of Kyle Busch. Now underneath Yaley into turn 1, who's also on older tires. Hornaday to the lead. Harvick to second. 15 laps to go at New Hampshire. What a caution for Hornaday. Harvick has the run into 3. He's going to get underneath the 2. Drives right around him. Harvick to the lead off turn 4. Another lead change. 14 to go at New Hampshire. And even if Harvick, even if Kyle Busch and J.J. Yaley make it on fuel, now they've lost the lead. I don't think they're going to even win this race unless the 2 and the 21 get together. They are teammates. They're going to try to race each other clean. You'd have to assume at least. We'll see. They battle enough. It might keep those guys on roller tires still in this thing. Who's to say we're not going to get another yellow late? Hornaday drives it deep into 1 and 2. He's going to get underneath Harvick. What a move by Ron Hornaday. Now letting the 21 get away. Hornaday clear easily off turn 4. He got him back. 12 to go. Harvick going to try to get him back now into turn 1. Harvick down to the apron on corner entry. Really drove it in deep. Easily clears Hornaday off turn 2. Great crossover move by the 21. Yaley and Busch are slipping back. I think Kyle Busch and J.J. Yaley's strategies were committed due opposite of Harvick. Harvick was in the lead at the time of the caution. If he would have stayed out, they probably would have pitted. Surprised only 2 cars stayed out trying that strategy. Just don't think Hornaday quite has the car his teammate does. 21. Oh, Harvick got a little loose getting into 1. Quite a bit of a wiggle there. He overdrove the entrance to the corner, but Hornaday, although he closed in, he couldn't get underneath him. Definitely a good chance these RCR cars are going to finish 1-2 today. Barring another caution. Who's to say we don't get another caution, then Busch and Yaley pit? Not sure how many cars are on the lead lap, though. That's the issue. Hopefully we don't have any lap cars running out of fuel either. Causing maybe another accident. Would not be surprised if they're still going 3x3 into these corners, middle of the pack. 18 laps to go. Hornaday overdrove 1. Going a little wide. Definitely tell he was a lot deeper into the braking zone that time than Harvick. Wonder how far back in the field J.J. Yaley and Kyle Busch might fall, especially Kyle Busch. Second in points behind Harvick. This could be a major win for Harvick on this split strategy to the end. That caution flying with 22 laps to go. And they at least trying to keep pressure on Harvick in case the 21 makes a mistake. Or are they going to try to force him into one? Luckily not going to give him the bumper with them being teammates. I'd be shocked if he gave him the bumper if it came down to it. Hornaday a little too wide off of turn 4. Harvick back out to about 0.3 of a second lead at the start-finish line. Still 14 to go, though. Hornaday just stays within a half second. He's still got a... Again, he's got a chance. Maybe trying to nail a restart like he did the last time to get to the lead. Well, he's going to have a guy on equal tires ahead of him instead of older tires. Caution comes out with less than 10 laps to go. All those lap cars that you saw restart on the inside lane on the previous restart, they would have to restart behind all the lead lap cars. And the restart came with 10 or less laps to go, which at this point would be the case. They would not be able to have a caution now and restart with more than 10 to go. Hornaday just beats Harvick to the inside in 3 and 4. Harvick leads the lap at the line, but Hornaday is going to have the advantage on the inside into 1. He just muscled his way in there, and he is going to be clear off turn 2. Hornaday back to the lead at New Hampshire. Unbelievable. Harvick never made a mistake. Hornaday just beat him into the corner. Now Hornaday going to go a little wide in 3, and he's going to give the lead right back up again. Never even let a lap out of it. Not that time, at least. 11 to go for Harvick. As he fights back and holds on to the lead. Hornaday a little wider in 1 and 2. Harvick trying to stay hooked to that yellow line in the middle of the corners. 10 laps to go here at New Hampshire. Another slow car coming onto pit road off turn 4. He'll make it. We do stay green. We'll have to see if they're under smoke or maybe they were out of fuel. One of those drivers who could have pitted about lap 91. No, they were smoking. Somebody just blew an engine. Everybody escapes, though, and we'll see. Definitely 2-car race here for the win. Over a half-second lead now. Harvick starting to stretch it out. 8 to go. Does Hornaday have anything for a last gasp, or did he use all of his stuff up in those first 15 laps after the restart? It's where Harvick, who has had a more superior car than Hornaday today, starting to stretch it out. Hornaday's running just a tad bit wider in the center of the corner, and that's what's really allowing Harvick to pull away. Harvick is hitting his marks right now. Hornaday did get down on the yellow line that time through turns 1 and 2. They were pretty even that time. Nothing gained, but nothing lost either. Hornaday just trying to stop the bleeding at this point, it seems like. He had those left sides just a tad below the yellow line that time. And he was maybe 0.03 of a second quicker than Hornaday that last lap. That was it, but he's still losing ground. Hornaday deep into turns 1 and 2. Couldn't get back to the gas as soon, though. Harvick a little loose into 1 that time. 3, rather. 0.6 of a second lead. He still gapped him. Another 0.03 of a second. 0.06 of a second total. Pulled away by Harvick over the last 2 laps combined. Hornaday a little bit wider entry into turn 1. He's just trying everything at this point. Trying the wider arc. Got 5 laps to go. Coming to 4 to go here as they We're in the middle of turns 3 and 4. Hornaday not close enough to make a move into a corner if he's going to be this far behind Harvick. Harvick has just ran just so perfect these last 10 laps. Tim Irvin, welcome into the chat here late in the stream. Almost a tenth of a second quicker that last lap for Harvick. Hornaday is slipping back. Might have given it all he's had. 3 to go. Harvick just trying to get to the white flag now. Ooh, Harvick up the track just a tad. Hornaday didn't gain anything, though. He didn't lose anything, but again, he didn't gain. Mine's bigger than yours. Welcome to the stream. What's up? 2 to go for Harvick. 2 more miles. Both cars even that last lap. Hornaday stopped the bleeding, but he needs to close in on Harvick if he's going to want any chance to get around him on the final lap. Harvick might have gapped him just enough here over these final 10 laps for the late race restart with about 19 laps to go. Harvick a little loose getting into 3. Still pretty good through the center. Hornaday about 3 to 4 hundredths of a second quicker that last lap, but that's just not going to be enough to really close. Now into turns 1 and 2, he charges hard deep into the corner. Harvick beats him back to the gas off turn 2. Maybe a tenth of a second gain now, but it's still not enough. He's over half a second off the lead into 3. Harvick beat his teammate here late. Took a restart to give Hornaday a chance, but the checkered flag will go to the man who has dominated the night. Kevin Harvick wins the New England 200 at New Hampshire. And there was the victory celebration, burnout style for Kevin Harvick. Take a look at those finishing results. About a half a second victory for Kevin Harvick there. One caution in this race came out with 22 laps to go, splitting the strategy to the end. It looks like Kyle Busch made it on fuel. I don't think J.J. Yaley made it, unfortunately, because he dropped outside the top 10. At least Busch was still able to hang on for 4th. Lost a spot there late to Jeff Burton in the 9 car as well. So Hornaday 2nd, Jeff Burton 3rd, Kyle Busch back to 4th, Kenny Wallace 5th, Tim Feto was 6th, David Stremme 7th, Wally Renshaw 8th, Greg Biffle 9th, and Hermie Sadler rounds out the top 10. 165 of the 200 laps led for Harvick here today. 24 lead changes. And let's see here. J.J. Yaley. Yaley might have made... If he didn't make it on fuel, he ran out on the last lap coming to the checker, but he fell all the way back to 16th. He was in the top 5 most of the race, so I'd like to think that... I mean, it could have been the tires on that restart, too. It's just weird that Kyle Busch was able to hold on to 4th while Yaley fell back to 16th. Busch was faster than Yaley throughout the day, but Yaley still had a top 5 car, so not sure. If he did run out of gas, though, again, he still finished on the lead lap. And 17 drivers actually finished on the lead lap in this race today. Bobby Hamilton Jr. loses more time, finishing a lap down again. Unfortunately, that's 2 bad runs in a row for him. He's starting to lose some traction compared to the top 2. Just keep knocking off top 5s and top 10s. Again, finishing 4th and 1st between the 2 of those guys today. And as far as the DNFs go, Jason Keller, Cody Holt, Drew Campbell were the 3 drivers who DNF'd in this race. Take a new look at the updated point standings, and then we'll get that NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode race underway. We are less than 10 minutes away from the drop of the green flag for that one. Oh my goodness, 400 laps at Red Bull. My gosh. Well, that's the next Busch Series race, the Switch Track 400. 400 laps on it. I mean, this track is a little bit less than a half mile. So it's not going to be that. It's going to be long for a Busch race, but it's like a Cup Series race length. Ideally. Man, 400 laps. So there we go. I was wondering what the next race was going to be. I wasn't sure. Taking a little bit to load there. There we go. Into the point standings. Harvick slowly pulls away. Again, Busch only finished 3 spots behind him. It's a 52-point lead right now. Ron Hornaday's really closed that gap in on Bobby Hamilton Jr. with a nice second-place run where Hamilton finished 21st. Hamilton's still third in points. He's only 10 ahead of Hornaday now. David Stremme is actually within 70 points of Bobby Hamilton Jr. as well. Stremme had a top 10, I believe, he finished 7th place today, so good run for him. Kenny Walls, who finished 6th, is 6th in points. He's really turned it on here late. He got that win at Daytona a few races ago as well. So Kenny Wall is trying to pull on a late season charge, maybe get a top 5 points finish. Bobby Hamilton Jr. is over a race worth of points now out of the lead. Really trying to bank on Kyle Busch or Kevin Harvick to DNF unless he can really start to just get things rolling here quickly. But he has fallen back after 2 bad finishes. Like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. That is going to be it here for this live stream, and I'll see you guys very shortly on the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode at Richmond for the 4th race. 50%er, 200 laps. Should be a quick one. Probably quicker than this race, in fact, but should be a fun one nonetheless, especially if you watched last night's race. That was the best finish of the young season and one of the better finishes we've ever had on the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode. So we'll see what tonight brings at Richmond. First short track race of the season coming soon.